Hello people, my name is Rage and welcome one and all to The Beginner's Guide Movie Edition. I really want to see the rest of this game. You guys really want to see the rest of this game. So why the hell not? And I think it would be remiss for me to split it up into multiple parts for the sake of it to get more videos or whatever, because I think this is really a journey in this really intriguing, interesting game, and you guys had a lot of good things to say, which was awesome reading. You really, once again, best audience on the entirety of the interwebs. I think we'll get the best impact and journey together if we do it all in one video, so that's what I'm gonna do, and really I can do that because of the awesome patrons among you. I mean, normally I never bring this up. In fact, I haven't brought it up in like 2.5 months. Maybe I should bring it up more. It's probably my own fault, really. But yeah, the ability to just be like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna make a movie-long episode on this really interesting game that normally I wouldn't be able to do because of those of you that support me on Patreon, and that's a really good feeling. So thanks those of you watching that are patrons, and obviously thanks everyone else for just being here and watching and supporting. It is lovely. If you are interested in learning what's going on there, I've recently kind of revamped all the tiers and stuff. I realize this is a really weirdly inappropriate place to talk about this. It's just because I happened to bring it up. So there's a link to that in the description. So yeah, by no means feel compelled or anything like that. It just seemed like the time because I'm an unprofessional bastard. So then, let's do this. So we're on the game all about notes. And this was a 2009 game, so we've moved on to the next year. Apparently there's notes everywhere left by players. Nice room. Not. Wow, that is just cruel. I mean, that is just mean. I mean, it's an okay room.
I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
Okay. Wow, there is a lot of notes. This is very intriguing. Hello, how you doing? Reasonable. I think that's a reasonable response.
Over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
This place makes me sad.
To me, they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
I'm on top of the world! That is ridiculous.
In playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work.
I think
this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
This is really cool. It's a shame I can't jump down there to look at all of them, because the completionist inside me kind of wants to. A free t-shirt! Make games include door, cannot open door, thanks. Open sesame. Door, how open? How do I do it? I don't know how to open the door. I don't know why that's what I can. Wow. Wow. It's not very crowded. I know I'm missing a few, but I feel like it's very much the point to not read them all. That you just want this snippet, this little result in misery. I feel like you want this little snippet into the mind of Coda here. And I just really want to figure out where this is leading. I mean, I can't help but think we're in for like a plot twist at the end or some sort of, but then Coda turned out to be behind you. Ah, Coda! And, you know, I feel like it's just building towards that, but at the same time, I wouldn't be disappointed if it wasn't building towards anything, if it was just, here's a journey, let's go on it. Painting! What does it mean? Whoever made it has issues. Yeah, I'm just trying to speak. How's it hanging? Things look messy up close and perfect from far away. It's a very good interpretation of it. Devil Tower Star. Oh, you trapped in the floor. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. Here now, we're all here now. And again, we notice the very sort of blocky geometrical environments, the corridors where you can see the lines, the square shapes interconnected. Ooh, even more. At the end of this level,
we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
That makes sense.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Really?
And because
are they all
there's
stupid?
Area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
The typewriter. How do you leave what? Alright, and then we have the lamppost. Whoa, okay. Speak, 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 speak! I'm trying to! Who are you and where are you, my friend? May to June 2009. Porn stars die too.
Okay,
I guess that is true.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Alright, if you say so, voice in the sky, I will hang with it. That's a cool wall. Be an actual pretty neat wall just to have in your house, to be fair. Pictures going on, that's lovely. Again, blocky environments. It's a very weirdly, specifically designed architecture. There's light going on there, mysterious.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay. How about put a giant hole in the ground? Oh. Oh. Why did it ignore me? Let's put up a huge picture of a horse. Ha ha! Oh. Guys, it's ignoring me. It's really ignoring live Tesla coils. That's what. Damn it, do you not respect my opinion as the gamer? But I do like this though. It's very much saying that, it's... I guess this is kind of the epiphany of illusion of choice, because it doesn't really matter what I say, he's just going to build it the way he does, which inherently is very much how
there's a bit more to this one,
the game
still,
works.
It's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Even with heavy story-driven games that have branching options, Until Dawn, Walking Dead.
Okay, he throws it out and starts over.
Ultimately,
this time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
You are still playing a predetermined path, irrelevant of how much choice you seem to have. I kind of like that one. Click on this table. Alright. Photo frame, click it slightly. Turn it off and on. Where are you, floor lamp? Move it a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to take back your prison. Okay. Am I going to be able to remember that? That's the real question. Please don't have me do that. I have a terrible memory.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work.
The puzzle again.
Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Interesting. This Coda guy does seem a little bit mental. But then again, mental people do tend to come up with the best things. And look, this one has the lamppost at the end. It's just a house. It's a little bit spooky, I'll admit. And again, even the hedges, very square and blocky. The phone booth, not quite TARDIS proportions, but there we go. I'd rather go to the lamppost, please. Nope, gotta go in. Alright, hello! Oh. Who's there? Hello? Who is this? Where is she? Okay.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
This is very, very compelling. Like, imagine actually having this conversation with yourself. That's a very good question. I just, it's not often I'm rendered speechless, but and that was compelling at the end. I'll be there for as long as you need.
A fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Absolutely lovely. So halfway through
So
2009.
what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Well, this is a very harsh environment.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
No, I'm trapped. Oh god, we got the cube heads. We have the cube heads. I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I managed to clear this entire house by myself, and right miserable that would have been. No, you do have to clean it by yourself. You are a slave.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Well, that's pretty nicely done, how this bed looks. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell it is a stark improvement over the other ones. Still very blocky, but it actually starts to look like an environment now. Oh, I will make the hell out of this bed. Do not worry, bed! Pow! Ha 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 ha! I will straighten the hell out of this rug as well. All the little details do matter. Okay. That's very sort of chilling, isn't it? His soul cannot be calmed. By anything other than just cleaning and going into the trance where nothing matters but the cleaning. No, I won't do that. Aww. That's a shame. There's normally, I always want to say a lot while I'm playing a game.
Set of prison games. This house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
I suppose that is true. Orcs. Just got orcs, guys. Back to the housekeeping. Back to the housekeeping. So everything keeps getting messy again. Hang on. Haha. Ah, I thought I could totally clip it through the walls like a boss. Maybe there's actually just a spooky ghost wandering around that's just like messing up everything.
I'm glad he found some peace.
Question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
That is true. It never does to fixate on one thing for too long because, well, I mean, it'll consume you. And again, the lamppost.
Which is the whole point.
That was very nice.
That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Items you love at members only prices. Oh look, it looks like my actual uni when no one can be bothered turning up. It feels like I'm right back at university. Look at this. Whoa, I'm gonna find out how to be perfect. I mean, Professor, I'm already kind of perfect. Come on now, I mean, let's not go crazy here. I kind of already got this one. I don't feel useless. No, I feel set. Alright, fight. I'm fighting you. Alright, let's do. I want to fight. I'm gonna fight you. I am seriously gonna fight you. I'm close. I'm closer to you now. You should have done that. You should have moved me. Bro. Oh, you will just wait till I'm not stuck to this chair. Just wait.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Whoa. Holy crap.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Holy moly. I just... Ah. So we have the external words we can voice on how to be perfect, but then we have the internal worries and insecurities that you must be feeling. That is really quite powerful. Anyone want to do some XT after this? Alright, students, field trip! Come on, here we go!
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human.
That was...
I think about this game a lot these days.
That was unreal. So we're into 2010 now.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's just lights. It's just lights. We're okay, guys. We're okay. Nobody worry. Nobody worry. You'll be playing as me. Thank you, my adoring public. Thank you. I am here. First off, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Alright, I'm going to lean the hell against this wall. Look at me so suave. Here we go. Lean. Haha, I moved. The woman across the room in this chair for to photograph animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. There's your chance to learn something to gain something to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. We were starting the conversation. Okay. Okay. That's not weird at all. Apparently, I am not very good at this. Well, however, this is fantastic fun. Whee! Boom! 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 Oh my god. No, don't take them away from me! Oh! That's so sad. I feel like I kind of messed up that conversation. Can I just go on for... Okay! back to the prison.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Already to June 2010, Mobius trip. To play this game, just keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the new game. Everyone's blind. I mean, I kind of have to look, I suppose. Oh my god, we're actually about to crash into something. Help, I'm blind! I feel like it might be a rather obvious thing to say, but... okay. Doing everything to activate the shields. We're gonna crash, we have no idea where we are! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god!
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Okay. This is really intense. Holy moly. Ah, I see. Okay, so I have to immediately go up there, find the truth, and then speak something that's truth. I can't keep making these. So maybe Coda's actually realized that what he's doing is
like
just...
I said, I was getting concerned.
Too much
First
for
off,
him.
He's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Well, that suddenly got very real, didn't it?
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Wow. So we're going to go straight to December. I mean, he finishes making in 2011, so... this is quite ridiculous. Where am I? Geronimo! Oh, I can't just throw myself. Anything at all going on with this? This is very messed up. Imagine being trapped. Oh, okay. Alright, that's fine. Imagine being trapped here, like... eternity. Limbo. Just this island and this tree. It's been so long since I talked to anyone. Oh no, indeed. Parkour! Oh. This is very, very surreal. And the islands are getting bigger, which maybe represents he's slowly gaining back his passion. I mean, I feel like I'm in an English literature class, but in a really good way.
if the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
This puzzle's really come full circle, hasn't it?
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Okay. And the crying. This is very... Whoa, okay.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it.
The prison and the
I
lamppost.
wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
We just smashed through everything by lying to ourselves, and then
But it didn't stop.
a crying woman in a
After finishing
prison.
this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
7 months. So we're in May 2011, and 2011's when he stopped creating, and now we're going to get to the machine. What does it all mean? I intend to be brutal. It calls itself Coda, and the press. So maybe it got too much for him, and I have a bad feeling about this. I feel like this is going to have a very, very sad ending. That is quite overwhelming. And here we have Coda the machine.
And of course, it's the machine.
So imagine it's the creative machine, the part of his brain that gives him the drive, maybe quite literally his drive. He's like fully accepting and realizing this problem with himself. I don't know what to say. This is just so real. My friends, it falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. Are these all aspects of Coda's mind that he's talking to? We do not need its games. Let's show it that we are not failures. Let us ride into battle! It's a very decrepit cityscape as well. I don't think we should destroy the machine itself, though. I feel like that would be a very bad decision. Oh my god, we actually are just getting the gun from one of the first games, and we are just straight up destroying everything that we've created. Every game, every experience, every facet of his creativity is self-destructing from the inside. It's like he's having a crisis that he can't resolve in his brain.
And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Oh, this is his idea room. We don't want to destroy his idea room. Smiley face! No, but for real, this is really sad.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work.
And then this is the puzzle door we're falling into. And then back to the machine. What does it all mean? Turns out this entire thing is just to build up to a jump scare and then wrecked. Oh, snap.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
I didn't want to destroy it. I didn't want to destroy the machine. I feel like ultimately he needs it.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
In June 2011, the final game, The Tower. Still the blocky environments. I mean, a tower can represent a lot of things.
Saying anything meaningful about Coda's work, because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
That is one hefty door. Is that gonna shut on me?
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the level, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Okay. That is like Nightmare Hell City, a maze like that. That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this just looks like a futuristic,
And to be fair,
terrible
it's not like
prison.
This is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code.
Which is nigh impossible.
Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
See? Guess the first one like a boss. Whoops, went a little bit too far. We've gone too far, man! We've gone too far! 1 and then 7. God, it would take so long to actually guess this. The Mines of Moria. I feel like it's sort of a combined Half-Life level as well. I'm getting those kind of vibes from it.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
Well,
I feel
that
like a failure,
sucks.
I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
I know that
I can
feeling.
open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
So why build more of the level if
I
you
don't know why
can't
I
do
would
it?
be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't. I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
This is so oppressive. I mean, it's just crushing in its
Where did
atmosphere.
I screw up?
Absolutely unreal.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Wow. Because he showed people the games, got the feedback. That's something he never wanted.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I just barely know what to say.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
So he added the lampposts at the end. Well, that is quite the plot twist. That's a huge revelation. It's so little, such a tiny little...
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be
Because
with
he's just been
myself.
lying to
And
us.
as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
So Coda's actually fine. The problems with the voice all along. Wow. Can you imagine being him and getting to this point and having this like a hammer blow crushing? That would just be ridiculous.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And here we have the puzzle. Once more. And the black space in between.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please.
The walls are
games
closing
again.
in.
Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading. And all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
And there we have the prison talk once again. So all in all, it turns it on its head. The narrator was seeing things that weren't there, and it was him that needed Coda, not the other way around. Coda was fine. He was just a creator who didn't like people that much. The fact that he added lampposts to everything as well. The desperation in his voice, the need for this to be heard somewhere.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
What a compelling experience. What a beautiful game in its own tragic way. I mean, what can you say?
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
I'm just so speechless. I mean, at this point, I feel like if I did my usual...
Now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
I don't want to ruin the tragic full stop at the end of this game. Well, this is claustrophobic.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
And that is quite the issue. A big part of life stems from being able to just be happy with yourself. For you to be able to tell yourself that, you know what? You're a good person. And the thing is, most people are. All of you watching this, if you got this far with me, you all are wonderful people. I know, ironically, I'm telling you that, which is going against the point, but
I'm sorry, 'cause
people don't
I know
realize
that I
it
said that I
enough.
would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Everything's getting so ridiculously abstract now. I just don't even know what to say. It's just absolutely unreal to me. I love games like this because it really shows that you don't just... You can really use them to do anything. I mean, to convey a powerful message like this, and one that really everyone should have, and it just makes me happy that how many of you are with me on this journey. We can sort of experience and understand this together. I wonder if he is going to come back, or if that is really it. We're just going to get to this end of this level, and it's going to end, and we're never going to get a resolution. No solution, no nothing, just that's it. Which, in a way, would be a really poignant way of ending this. Would kind of sum it up. Now we're back in something very similar to the train station. It's just so, I suppose, real. And considering the graphics and, I guess, air quotes, gameplay have all been effectively terrible, but it doesn't, like, have we even stopped to consider that once? Because it's no need. Are we going to have the beam that needs you to sacrifice yourself at the end, all the way back from the first game? Or the second one, I suppose. Because that would be a real completion to the circle. It looks like that's what it is. We don't even have textured walls anymore. And yeah, it is the beam. Imagine that. We're not dying, but we are going up again. The bug recreated. Wow. Here's a question for you. When does the maze stop being 3D and start being a flat texture? Not really relevant right now, but I kinda like the blend. But look at this. I mean, this is just a very good visual representation of a person's mind, isn't it? Just complicated and vast and open and so much going on, and you can't possibly begin to know everything about someone. You can't possibly begin to know everything about yourself. It's just, well, it's impossible.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles, and you're so tired, but I know that you're strong, so turn back, turn back.
What an ending to a game. What an ending. And the lamppost. Well, you give it your own meaning, guys. You give it your own meaning. It's just... it's just unreal. Well, there you go, guys. The Beginner's Guide, a wonderful, beautiful game. Thank you very much for being on its journey with me. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Oh, goodbye.